So essentially, the additive inverse is the negative of that value, or opposite. So, say for example, we have a value a that's a real number. The opposite, or the negation, is negative a, which is also a real number. In other words, if we were to add a value and its inverse, its additive inverse, we'd have a plus negative a. Essentially, subtraction is just addition with its opposite, or the negative. So we know that a plus negative a will give us 0. Similarly, negative a plus a will also give us 0. So for example, we know that 3 is a real number. The opposite, negative 3, is also a real number. If I were to add 3 plus negative 3, this would give me 0. Similarly, negative 3 plus 3 will also give me 0. But what about multiplication? Well, it's not the same thing as the additive inverse, but it does have a multiplicative inverse. Now, what is the multiplicative inverse? Again, we are trying to find the value so that when we multiply it, we would get 1. So the identity for the multiplication is 1. So what can we multiply to a number to get 1? So this is known as the reciprocal. So reciprocal for multiplication and negative for addition. So say we have a, which is a real number. The reciprocal is 1 over a, which is also a real number. So in other words, the property goes a times 1 over a is the same thing as 1 over a times a, which is just 1. So for example, if we have 3 that's a real number, the reciprocal is 1 over 3, which is also a real number. So in other words, 3 times 1 over 3 is the same thing as 1 over 3 times 3. When we multiply this value and its reciprocal, we get the multiplicative identity, which is 1. So this is how it works for inverse property. An inverse and identity property kind of go hand in hand. The last property is the distributive property. And this is something we use very commonly, especially when we're foiling. So if we have an outside, we multiply to something. So say we have a times b plus c. This is the same thing as ab plus ac, because it's being multiplied to each specific value in here, inside the parentheses. So for example, 3 times 2 plus 4 is the same thing as 3 times 2 plus 3 times 4. By PEMDAS, 3 times 2 gives me 6, plus 3 times 4 gives me 12. And this leaves me with 18. And this is how you would use the distributive property. These are all the properties that we use, especially when we are trying to find the value or to simplify an expression, especially when it comes to polynomials and